The Leagues Cup has reached the round of 16, and we have Seattle and Pumas getting things started as they get to kick off as the standalone Monday night game. It's a late game on Monday at 10:30 p.m. Eastern Time before the 7 other knockout round games all get played on Tuesday. Of the final 16 teams, there's 10 from MLS, 6 from LigaMX. Head-to-head, when these teams from opposing conferences have met, opposing leagues have met in this tournament so far, MLS leads with regular time wins 15-9, shootout wins 7-6, and goals 52-40. From the 8 games going down here in the round of 16, I put together 3 two-leg parlays for my Leagues Cup predictions. Let's get into them. And if you want more Leagues Cup, be sure to give this video a like, subscribe to the channel, and if you're looking for some great offers, check out signupexpert.com/shredthespread for all the best new customer promos, deposit matches, and bonus bets. Click the link down there in the comments and you can check all of those out. Let's go with Seattle and Pumas here. We're going to not use this as one of the official bets, but it is the first game on the slate, so let's start with that. Seattle and Pumas, the last time they met, Seattle beat Pumas in 2022 CONCACAF Champions League Cup final play, first playing to a 2-2 draw and then winning 3-0 to win 5-2 over the 2 legs. Pumas' Leagues Cup campaign saw them lose to Austin 3-2, despite being up a player for most of that game. They then drew Monterrey 1-1, went on to win in PKs in the round of 32. They shut out the Whitecaps in Vancouver 2-0. It's been a strong start in the Apertura for Pumas. They're 3-1-0. They're second, tied overall in first, though, with Cruz, Azul, and Tigres with 10 points. They've scored 9, conceded just 3 in their 4 games. Go back further. Pumas has just 2 losses in 15 games now. They've scored in 12 of 14, scored multiple in 6 of 8, conceded a goal in 7 of 9. Both teams' score bets have gone 6-2 of late. Seattle beat Minnesota 2-0 on match day 1, but that game was 0-0 until late when Minnesota took a red card. Match day 2, they surprisingly lost 3-1 to Necaxa. They equally had a surprising result in their next game, but a positive one this time as they beat a hot LA Galaxy 3-1. That game was also 3-0 at the half, with LA only finally getting on the score sheet late in that game in the 83rd minute. Seattle now has just 4 losses in 22 games in all competitions, just 2 losses in 12. Despite last game seeing goals from both teams and that there being 4 goals, the both teams' score bet is only 3-5 in recent Sounders games. Seattle got the win without Pedro de la Vega, who was again injured. He's already missed most of the season, probably be out for likely a few more weeks as well. This looks to me to be too close to call. Possibly, I'd say the draw, but I won't use it as an official bet. But I will say maybe the best bet could be a draw with Seattle and Pumas. So let's get into the Tuesday games here and start with the first parlay I put together, starting with Columbus Crew, Inter Miami. This could be the match of the round between first Miami and third Columbus, 2 top 3 Eastern Conference teams in MLS right now. Miami got the win in the only meeting between them this season, 2-1 in June. Miami was missing players too. Last season they drew 2-2 in Miami. Miami won 2-1 in Columbus. This game will also be in Ohio. Playing without some of their stars didn't matter in game 1 for Miami in the Leagues Cup. They beat Puebla 2-0. On match day 2, it wasn't enough though, as they lost to Tigres 2-1. Messi still injured from the Copa America. Suarez did return in the round of 32 versus Toronto in what was a wild 4-3 win. Miami opened the scoring to make it 1-0, then 2-0. Then Insigne cut the lead to 2-1 with a PK goal for Toronto. TFC suffered a blow with Bernardeschi leaving the game injured. Miami added a 3rd goal. Toronto almost had another PK, but it was called back. Instead, it was a red card to Miami's center back, David Martinez. Toronto would get another PK soon after anyways, though, so it didn't matter. They again converted that with Insigne to make it 3-2, and this was all within the opening 40 minutes of the game. Second half was hard, couldn't really live up to the first half, but Miami did get another goal to make it 4-2. Toronto added a 3rd late on in the game. The Herons still advanced, though, 4-3. Jordi Alba had 4 assists. Matias Rojas had a brace in that 7-goal thriller. Looking back to the shutout of Puebla, that is Miami's only clean sheet, though, in 13 games. The both teams are scoring over 2.5. It's gone 12-1 in that time. The Crew are 6th in the Supporters' Shield race. They own the top defense in all of MLS. They have only lost once at home. They've allowed only 7 goals when playing at lower.com field in MLS play. It took a little time to get rolling in their first Leagues Cup game in the round of 32 as they debuted after their bye last game. But when they did, they quickly brushed aside SKC with goals in the 44th, 57th, 77th, and 79th minute, including 2 from Diego Rossi and 1 each from brand new signings DeJuan Jones and Dylan Chambos. Columbus maybe look a bit more like the complete team, I think, right now. They'll still probably want to get some revenge from that June loss. Miami's defense is always a problem, and they are out now with their center back, Martinez, who took red last game. If I'm picking a winner, I'm actually going to take Columbus here at home, but the safer bet in any Miami game seems to always be goals. So certainly the both teams to score and over 2.5 is an option. So whether you want to go Columbus win, Columbus to score over 1.5 goals, the both teams scoring over 2.5. I see these all as options. You could also just ask Columbus to score in a parlay or double chance or draw no bet. I know I've given a lot of different options there. They're either going to be a play on Columbus or a play on goals. And for this parlay, I'm just going to settle on Columbus to score over 1.5 goals. That alone comes in at plus 115 odds, which could be good enough all by itself. Columbus is 6-1-1 in their last 9. They've outscored opponents 26-5. So they've had lots of goals, lots of games with multiple goals. Miami's defense is not great. I'm going to ask Columbus to score 2 goals there, but I'm still going to add one more simple selection just to bump up the price a little bit. Let's go to FC Cincinnati and the Philadelphia Union. Second in the East, Cincy needs 10th in the East, Philly. They recently played in a wild 4-3 Cincy win back in June. Last season, Cincinnati won 1-0 and 1-0 at home, and they drew 2-2 in Philly. Cincy lost 3-1, 1-0, and 3-1 entering Leagues Cup. They bounced back now with a 1-0 and 4-2 wins over Querétaro and New York City FC in the group stage. Even with Luciano Acosta back in the lineup, they did struggle to put away one of Mexico's weakest teams in Santos Laguna, falling behind 1-0 and drawing 1-1 before going on to win in PKs in the last round. They also needed to fight back from 2-0 down to New York City FC in their game prior. In fact, Cincinnati's only been in the lead for 30 minutes out of a total 270 in this entire tournament, so they've not been as strong as they have looked in most of the MLS season. Philly has struggled all season, but they had wins of 5-1, 3-0, and 1-0 going into their second Leagues Cup game versus Cruz Azul. There they would draw 1-1 before losing in PKs. Last round of 32, it was a 2-0 win over CF Montreal. So that makes Philly undefeated in regulation now in 5 games. They've also scored in 8 of 9. Cincy has been good all season, but they have been a little bit off of late. Philly's been bad all season, but they've been a little bit better of late. So maybe we do see goals from both teams here. At home, you'd still likely expect Cincinnati to win. I would certainly expect them to at least score. So that's going to be what I just add to this parlay. Go Cincinnati to score. Columbus over 1.5 will come in at plus 146 odds in that parlay. Parlay number 2, let's move along in the night to Tigres and New York City FC. Tigres beat Puebla 2-1 before also beating Miami 2-1 in this tournament. Then it was off to the round of 32 where they struggled to break down Pachuca, but eventually scored in the 65th minute to take the 1-0 win and move on. Tigres is off to a strong start. They're 3-1-0, undefeated. They're third in the Apertura. This is after a 1-0 win, 1-1 draw, 1-0 win, and 3-0 win. In all competitions, they've only lost 4 times in 18 games, and those have come to Club America, Monterrey, Columbus, and Pachuca going further back. New York City FC, they drew Querétaro 0-0, won in PKs. They coughed up a 2-0 lead to Cincinnati and lost 4-2. Then in the round of 32, they drew again, this time with New England, 1-1, before going on to win in PK. So if you take out PK wins, they are lacking a lot of regulation wins. In fact, any regulation wins, as they have 0 regulation wins in their last 7, while the Cincy loss is their only defeat in 6. They only have 4 wins, only 2 in regulation in their last 12 as well. Head-to-head in the 2020 Champions Cup, Tigres won 1-0 and 4-0. New York City FC have not been anywhere near reliable enough to consider, for me, to be pulling an upset over Tigres. In fact, Tigres at plus 145 on the money line could just be a great bet all by itself. New York City, though, have been drawing a lot of games, so possibly you could look for them to try to draw Tigres here. You could try to go safer and go Tigres draw no bet at minus 125. That could still be a good bet by itself. Or in this parlay, Tigres double chance. So that's Tigres to win or to draw. And that will be leg 1 for me, the Tigres double chance. I'll add one more to that. Toluca and Colorado. This is a rematch from last year where Toluca won 4-1 in the group stage. This year, Toluca beat Chicago 3-1, SKC 2-1 in the group stage. They were moments away from going out of the competition in the round of 32 to Houston. They were down 2-1, needed a 96th-minute goal to pull level before going on to win in PKs. Their first goal was also came from an own goal, so it wasn't a great performance by Toluca. Toluca are now, though, on a streak of 8 games undefeated across all competitions. They're scoring a ton with 14 goals in 6 games, but they have given up goals in 5 of 6, so both teams to score is 5-1. Go further back, though, they still only have 3 losses, and those have come to Chivas, Cruz Azul, and America in their last 20 games. Colorado lost 4-0 to Portland. They were down 1-0 to Club Leon, but fought back in the 97th minute to tie from Rafael Navarro, and they went on to win in PKs. In the round of 32, they fell behind 1-0, led 2-1, 3-1, and eventually won 3-2 to Juarez. Both teams had goals from PKs. They did allow Juarez to pile up plenty of shot attempts, though, with 21, as well as 10 shots on target with 65% possession. I'd rather have Toluca here for the win for me if I'm going to pick a winner, but certainly both teams to score or both teams to score in over 2.5 bets are certainly an option as well. Rapids have allowed a goal in 10 straight and in 14 of 16, but they also scored in 22 of 24 overall recent matches. The 2 times they didn't were both on the road. They'll be at home here. Additionally, 24 of 26 Rapids MLS games have seen 2 or more goals, and so too have all of their Leagues Cup games. So whether you want to bet goals or a winner, I would go either maybe both teams to score or Toluca to win or simply Toluca to score. I'll go Toluca to score, paired with Tigres double chance coming in at -1/18 odds in parlay number 2. One more 2-leg parlay, and it's the late games on Tuesday night on the West Coast here. We have LAFC and San Jose. It's second, meeting 14th from the Western Conference in MLS. This season, both have won at home. First San Jose, 3-1, then LA 6-2. LA will be the home team here. Last year, San Jose won 2-1 at home. LA won 2-1 at home, and they drew 1-1 in LA. Let's look at a ton of other scores here between these teams, and we see 2-1, 3-2, 3-1, 2-0, 2-1, 3-2, 2-1, 5-1, 4-0, 3-1, 5-0, 2-0, and 4-3. Those are their all-time scores, so it's been a ton of goals both ways, as well as no road team winning in any of the past 11. LAFC have been one of the top teams in MLS in all competitions all season. In Leagues Cup, they beat Tijuana 3-0 before fighting back to draw Vancouver 2-2, going on to lose in PKs in the round of 32. Goals by Dennis Bouanga and Christian Oliveira. That paced them to a 2-0 win over Austin. They're 15-2-2 in 19 overall games. They've scored multiple goals in 14 of 19, and they've been doing this even without Olivier Giroud yet, who has not debuted, but he's in the building. He's been practicing. He could start any game now, maybe even this game. San Jose was leading Chivas 1-0 until the 98th minute, but went on to win in PKs. They were down 1-1 with the Galaxy before losing in the 89th minute. That was still enough to see them through to the round of 32, where they thoroughly dismantled Necaxa 5-0. They piled up 4 goals within 35 minutes, including a brace from Jeremy Abobasi. And while Necaxa took a red card in the 43rd minute, certainly this game was long out of reach before that, so you can't really say that was the reason why. It was a rare clean sheet, though, for San Jose, something they've only done now 3 times in 30 overall matches. In their last 13 games, they've allowed multiple goals 8 times. When it comes to wins and losses, they have just 3 in 17 games, only 2 in regulation. Win or lose, though, the Quakes do often find ways to score, and there's often goals in their games. There's been 2 or more goals in 13 of their 15 games. San Jose might be a bit improved in the last few games, but expecting them to knock off LAFC on the road, to me, is going a step too far. LAFC to win is an option in a parlay. LAFC to win and score 2, or simply to score 2 is an option, or maybe LAFC by itself to win by on the spread -1.5. Certainly if you want to throw San Jose to score a goal in there, that's certainly a possibility. As we've just talked about, there's a ton of goals when these teams usually play. For me, in this parlay, it's going to be LAFC to score over 1.5 goals for leg number 1. And we'll pair that with results here for Club America and St. Louis City FC. Club America won the 2023 Apertura, 2024 Clausura, and the Campeón de Campeones. Though this season in the Apertura, they're only 9th so far in the early stages at 2-0-2. Scored 6, conceded 5. America's a little slow out of the gates here. They have a loss to Tigres, which they wouldn't want, but it's only 1-0. That's not too bad. A 2-1 loss to Atlético San Luis, slightly more concerning. Still, they're now 15-7-6 in their past 28 games after starting their Leagues Cup campaign off with a 2-1 win over Atlas. That game was tight, though. It was 1-1 until the 73rd minute. They did hold Atlas, though. It's just 1 shot on target, which did result to be their 1 goal. St. Louis beat Dallas 2-1, drew Juarez 1-1 before losing in PKs. In the round of 32, they had one of their best games of late as they beat one of MLS's hottest teams, Portland, by a 3-1 score. Still, the Dallas and Portland wins, plus a win over wooden spoon leader San Jose, if you go further back, are their only 3 wins in their last 17 games. But in regulation, they are undefeated now in 4 games. However, those last 3 games have all come at home, and the game before that was against SKC, not a great team. St. Louis added 2 players in the transfer window, Cedric Touchart and Marshall Hartel. Both got on the score sheet against Dallas. They also brought back Simon Betcher from Denmark. He got a goal versus Juarez. Then all 3 players scored again versus Portland. So certainly the new additions have been helping out. If St. Louis wins here, though, it's because the new signings have just completely transformed them, and they're going to be a completely different team the rest of the way, and maybe they will rebound in the late stages of the MLS season. But you can't really expect it to happen after just 2 games and against maybe the top team on the entire continent. After all, America did win 4-0 against St. Louis last season in the Leagues Cup, and that was when St. Louis was a much better team. To note here, Club America does have the hosting rights, so this game will be played at Dignity Health Sports Park in California. America will be the default home team here, and certainly will have a massive crowd advantage as Mexico is much closer to California than St. Louis is. In their short existence, St. Louis has been abysmal on the road. In MLS, they're winless in 14 road games. They have only 1 win in 20, 3 in 27, and just 5 all-time road MLS wins. You could be super safe and use America a double chance in this parlay to bring it to -127, but I think it would be a massive upset for America to lose here. So I will go Club America to win, paired with LAFC over 1.5 goals to come in at +157 odds. And we have one more game that I have left out here, and it's an all-Mexican matchup. We'll still touch on it here. It's Cruz Azul versus Mazatlan. It's all-Mexican matchup. Hits first in the Apertura, Cruz Azul against 17th Mazatlan. They did already meet this season in the Apertura in the short 4 games, with Cruz Azul winning 1-0. Other scores have been 2-1 Azul, 2-2, and 3-1 Mazatlan last year. Cruz Azul advanced after drawing Charlotte 0-0, losing in PKs, then drawing Philadelphia 1-1, winning in PKs. In the round of 32, they again went to PKs, drawn 0-0, and this time they beat Orlando 5-4 in PKs. Cruz Azul, they're currently first in the Apertura, 3-1-0, scoring 9, conceding just 1, so their defense has been airtight. Include all competitions, and win or lose, they scored in 14 of 17, and they bring with them ex-Atlanta United star Giorgos Giacomakos, who recently joined. Cruz Azul have been stone cold to the under of late. They're with scores of 0-0, 1-1, and 0-0, or 0-0, 1-1, and 0-0 again. But further back, the under 2.5 is also 8-2, so there's been a lot of unders even before this tournament. Mazatlan lost to New England 1-0. They beat Nashville 2-0. That set up a round of 32 clash with DC United, where they won 2-1. This was aided by a 27th minute red card, though, from DC before scoring their 2 goals, and DC did pull one back late in the game to make it 2-1, even though they were down a man. Mazatlan have collected only 1 point, scored just 2 goals in their first 4 games in the Apertura. They're 17th out of 18 teams in LigaMX right now. Their score lines in the Apertura: 1-0 loss, 2-2 draw, 3-0 loss, 2-0 loss. Go back to last season, and these last 2 wins are their only 2 wins in 9 games. They have just the Nashville clean sheet as the only time they've not conceded a goal in that time as well. And in fact, they rarely keep clean sheets. It's something they've only done 4 times in 24 games. This game should, on paper, looks like a Cruz Azul win. Certainly Cruz Azul should probably score, but they're just not scoring of much, too many goals at all right now. So maybe this game is tight. Maybe it's an under. Mazatlan has been shut out in 5 of 8 games. I think the under 2.5 or a Cruz Azul win could be options here. But like I said, they have struggled to score at all of late. So I'm going to leave this alone. And just wrap up this, we have the 3 parlays being the best bets for Leagues Cup on Monday and Tuesday. But let me know how you see these games going. We have 8 games. Share your bets down there in the comments for the round of 16. Be sure to give the video a like, subscribe to the channel, and good luck this week.